Yo, what's the haps? Study 900. And man, I just was sitting up, I'm stretching, getting my daily stretches in because I'm about to hit the gym here in a minute. Low key whole time. You know what I'm saying? I'm about 210 pounds right now, eating a lot of meat and a lot of carbs over the winter and whatnot. But I want to get down around 190, 195 by the summer. But I still want to have my cardio. I want my cardio up. So I'm about to go to the gym and get some cardio in, you know. But anyway, I was thinking, right, while I was stretching, and a social issue came to my mind. And I don't know, well, before I get into that, let me just say this. This is what I see. Now, just to make something plain or something that's relatable, how you see these drill rappers and then they'll have a big influence, right? And then you see a bunch of drill rappers come up after them and they try to emulate the same thing that the previous drill rapper did, i.e., King Von. May he rest in peace. But this is just something that I've noticed, like the impact that King Von has had. You get what I'm saying? Because what I'm noticing is that not only other younger, the new generation of drill rappers coming up in Chicago, they are trying to emulate King Von. King Von did the blueprint, right? And they're following the blueprint. You get what I'm saying? But that's why it's important for some self-reflection and some introspection and to become self-aware and self-actualized. It is imperative for you as a black man to know who you are. If you don't know who you are, if you don't choose your path, man, somebody's going to choose it for you. You get what I'm saying? If you don't cast yourself in the role that you want to play, somebody's going to cast you. Somebody's going to cast it for you. You get what I mean? Now, you can be a stunt double or you can be a main character. You get what I'm saying? Stunt doubles are, you know, people who just come in for the star. They kind of look like the star. They may move like the star, and they just do the star stunts. You get what I'm saying? The dangerous stuff. The star gets the glory. You feel me? The stunt double just does the dangerous shit. You feel what I'm saying? If that makes any sense. And and this is not just prevalent in Chicago. So when I'm just using that as an example, and for all you people in Chicago who may come across this and may feel some type of way, oh man, you ain't even from the rack, so you can't talk about it. Nigga, the world is Chicago. Check out my previous video that I put out talking about the world is Chicago. Chicago is a major hub of social and cultural influence. So everything permeates from Chicago. They really permeate from three epicenters in Black America. That being Chicago. If you're in the Midwest, to various degrees, everybody's gonna gravitate to Chicago, right? If you're in the East Coast, everybody's gonna gravitate to New York. If you're out west, and I mean from Denver to Las Vegas to Seattle, the Bay Area is different. But those, even from that far east, everybody's gonna emulate LA culture. It's just what it is. You get what I'm saying? If I was in the Western time zone or the mountain region and I was seeing LA culture, I would be talking about LA. But I'm not. I'm in the central time zone in the Delta to be specific. I am a Chicago Mississippian. My family is from the Delta. They moved. I got family members who moved to Chicago, family members who moved from Chicago down here back to Chicago. over to Omaha, back to the rack, took Kansas City, back to the rack, back down to, you know what I'm saying? So this is like, you know, just put it like that. But so I'm down here, right? And I'm in the Delta. The closest big city to the town that I'm in is Memphis, Tennessee. I'm like 30 minutes, a 20, 30 minute drive from Memphis. I go to Memphis, not all the time, but I at least try to go at least once a month, at least. Because I like Memphis. I love Memphis, to be honest with you. Shout out to Glorilla, by the way, on the gang. But anyway, down here, um, everybody does what the rappers, they emulate the rappers in Memphis. You get what I'm saying? But it's a mixture because, you know, me being, this is the Delta and us being Chicago Mississippians, my family is not the only family. I'm not the only one who have family members that moved to Chicago. There's other families in this town and in the surrounding towns who have family that moved to Chicago. You know what I'm saying? People they'll have a family member in Chicago that'll commit a crime and then come down here. You get what I'm saying? Like, trust me, I've seen it. I've seen it. Like, it's a guy, like, I live in a town that's like 20,000 people. And I've actually met a person from Chicago that I worked with that's around my age. Well, he's a little bit younger than me. Anyway. But I watch and see the guys down here and the kids too. They emulate the rappers in Memphis and they emulate the rappers in Chicago. And I mean, from the way that they talk, even the way that they walk. I don't know if y'all ever seen that King Von video where he's like taking the trash out and he's like, the police steady watching me. You see how he walks? You see how King Von is walking like that? Like, I've seen, at least since I've been living down here, at least 3 teenagers and a child, 2 teenagers and a child emulate that exact same walk. They're doing the same walk. They're trying to conjure the same spirit of King Von by doing that. I call it copycat magic. That's what I call it. When someone imitates somebody, they're trying to court the same energies that that person whom they're imitating possesses. I call it copycat magic. Shout out to Kobe Bryant. May he rest in peace. That's a prime example of copycat magic. This man emulated Michael Jordan to the T. Like, it's crazy. Now, granted, he wasn't as great as Michael Jordan. And don't argue with me, argue with your mama. He wasn't as great as Michael Jordan, but he got up there. But yet and still, he imitated Jordan. He really did. He utilized a lot of copycat magic. Not to get too spooky, but that's just what I like to call it. You get what I'm saying? And, you know, and you'll see this even on your day-to-day and your comings and goings. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're a guy or a gal who got the light, you're going to start noticing people who are watching you and they're watching your movements. They're going to start emulating you and start copying you. Now they say, is the highest form, imitation is the highest form of flattery, right? Yeah, they say that, but, you know, is it? Because there's a thin line between flattery and, you know, downright weird. You get what I'm saying? Another example, and I was watching TikTok, right? And this gal, I forgot her name, but she was saying, and shout out to her, a sister. She always comes with some very insightful stuff. But she said this, and I'm paraphrasing her. She said, a bitch sit up here and clock you and watch your whole movements and steal your entire style and your entire personality and then try to turn around and turn people against you. You know what I'm saying? Like, people will steal your whole style and essentially try to kill you and get you out the way so that they don't know. You feel what I'm saying? Like that's how people are. So you gotta be mindful of people who are just overly imitating you, who are overly trying to engage in copycat magic because they're essentially trying to replace you. You see what I'm saying? They're watching your steeds and how you do things, and then as soon as they feel like they mastered your style, they're gonna get you out the way. You know what I'm saying? Side note, this kind of ties into something, and I'll go ahead and speak on it right now. That gal, that health worker that got arrested in Loganville, Georgia, for rubbing her nether regions on the top of a special disabled person's head. Essentially, she was doing a TikTok. She was in her scrubs, and the disabled person is sitting there, and she's sitting on top of his head, dancing, rubbing her nether regions on top of the gentleman's head. The video got out. People looked her up, and she's arrested. But I did some research, right? So I went to Loganville Police Department's Facebook page. Looked up the gal, and she's got this ooga booga ass name. You know what I'm saying? Is Mama say Mama sa Mamaku sa ooga booga. That's her name essentially. It's African as shit. And if you're offended by that, fuck you. But anyway, she's African. And I researched her surname, her last name, right? Her last name is of Liberian, um, it has Liberian origins, right? And I think her middle name has origins in Liberia, Nigeria, and Kenya. Those are the three places where her middle name pops up. You get what I'm saying? But anyway, I say all that to say she's African. But if you go to her TikTok, you wouldn't know that she's African. She talks just like an American black woman. She got the lace front with the laid edges, makeup done. She looks like she's trying to portray an IG model, essentially. She looks like an American wannabe IG model type. She talks like us, she looks like us, but she is not us. And she's come over here, learned the American or what she perceives as our style, and she's behaving very badly. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta watch that. You gotta watch people who want to claim your shit because they'll give you a bad name. You get what I'm saying? I just wanted to, you know, go off into that. But yeah, the FBA talk is going crazy on her. They're letting her know like, hey everybody, this is an African. She's not like us. But anyway, what I want to talk about as far as copycat magic is concerned, in my opinion, this is how I see it. Nothing is for free, right? If you want something, you're going to have to sacrifice for it. It's going to cost you, essentially. It's going to cost you something. Like old boy said in Martin, like the plumber dude said in Martin, it may cost you a little, it may cost you a lot, but it will cost you. You get what I'm saying? It's kind of like when Thanos wanted to get the Soul Stone, he had to sacrifice something. Unfortunately, he ended up sacrificing Gamora. You get what I'm saying? But that's what he had to do to attain the Soul Stone. You get what I mean? And for great men to become who they are, because great men are forged, they're made, they're not born. You get what I'm saying? You may be born with the raw material to be great, but you have to be forged to be great. You get what I'm saying? If you want to be strong, you have to work out. You can have natural strength, but if you want to max out your potential, you're gonna have to train. You get what I mean? And it's kind of like, I don't know if you know about, if you're into Greek mythology, but there's a Greek mythology about this character named Cephas. Now, Cephas is a man who was punished by the gods to roll a boulder up a hill for eternity. That is what it's like becoming a great man. It's like rolling a boulder up a hill. And you have to keep going, because if you give up and you say, you know what, I'm tired, I don't want to do this anymore, and you just give up, what's going to happen? The boulder's going to roll back on you and crush you. You get what I'm saying? You feel me? That's just life, man. Like it say in the Bible, a man's days are few and filled with trouble. You know what I'm saying? We're destined to roll this boulder up the hill. At least not for eternity, but at least for a lifetime. You get what I'm saying? Now, are there some times where we're gonna have some respites and whatnot in between while rolling this boulder up the hill of life? Yeah, it is. But yet and still, nigga, if you wake up in the morning, you gotta face the day. You know, as Bob Marley said, gotta face the day, ready for anything that come our way. You get what I'm saying? But what people who engage in what I call copycat magic, what they don't understand is, yeah, you see that great man over there, right? Now you want to kind of talk like him and walk like him, and wear similar clothes and similar color schemes that he wears. You want to do some of the easy, superficial shit to try to siphon some of his light onto yourself. But what you don't know is he is who he is by the circumstances and the trials and tribulations that he went through. You get what I'm saying? Michael Jordan was who he is, or became Michael Jordan, because of the extensive training and the trials and the tribulations that he went through. You know what I'm saying? So it's an exercise in futility for another basketball player to come behind him and just think that you can mimic some of his mannerisms and some of his, superficial shit, and think that you're gonna siphon some of his light onto yourself. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. And the greater the man, the greater the boulder. You get what I'm saying? So you got to be careful. You have to be careful. Not to, well, I guess I'm going there. I'm getting esoteric. But shout out to Pop Smoke. I don't know if you guys ever, you, I'm not really a Pop Smoke fan like that. I'm just not. But shout out to him. I'm not saying he's a bad rapper. I'm just not a fan of him like that. But I seen a couple interviews of him, and I seen a couple sound clips of him, and I watched him talk. Listened and I watched him talk. And a lot, or not a lot, but some of the sound clips of Pop Smoke that I seen, he's mimicking 50 Cent to a T. You get what I'm saying? Like he's Pop Smoke playing the character of 50 Cent. You get what I mean? Real shit. Like if you ever seen it, if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. And some will say that most recently, Little Jeff, or Bloodhound Lil Jeff, was playing the character of King Von. Unfortunately for Pop Smoke, but just to get back to Pop Smoke, unfortunately for Pop Smoke, he didn't realize, or he didn't have the foresight to see that 50 Cent is who he is because of the trials and tribulations that he went through. He was made to go through those trials and tribulations. And that's given testament by the fact that he's still living and breathing after being shot 9 times. You get what I'm saying? So you got to be careful when you want to step into a great man's shoes, or you want to push a great man's boulder up the hill. You get what I mean? Because you're not gonna get something for nothing. You're not gonna imitate somebody and just take on their light, and you're just gonna get away nigga free. It don't work like that. Nah, you're gonna get some of those same similar tests that he got, and you may not come out on the other end. You get what I'm saying? Unfortunately for Pop Smoke, I think he was engaged unknowingly, maybe unknowingly or unwittingly, but he was engaging in copycat magic to said 50 Cent, and he was copying 50 Cent. And when it came time for him to get shot like 50 Cent, unfortunately for that man, he didn't live. May he rest in peace. But that's just an example of when copycat magic goes wrong. You get what I'm saying? So you got to be, like I said again, I'm going to harp on this. Um, you got to be careful because you got to be mindful of the boulder that you're pushing up the hill. It'd be better for you to push your own boulder up the hill because, see, God made you to push your boulder up the hill. He didn't make you to push my boulder up the hill. You see what I'm saying? You can't push my boulder up the hill. And furthermore, you wouldn't want to. You see what I'm saying? Because I made a video years this was on my first channel, my vault channel. And the title of it was the top 5 defects of black men, right? And I don't know if it was that or if it was another video. But essentially I was saying that, you know, everybody, not just black men, but everybody needs to find their own voice. You get what I'm saying? Because when I first started on YouTube and I started putting out content, I didn't quite know what to say and how to say it. So I was somewhat imitating certain content creators that I liked. I would take a little piece here, a little piece there, a little piece here, sprinkle in some of my own shit. You know what I mean? And it was a patchwork. It was decent, but it wasn't me. And it took time for me to find my own voice and to find my own style. You get what I'm saying? But now, you know, I may be influenced by certain content creators here on YouTube, but I'm not totally biting their style. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like it's kind of like a rapper, right? A rapper who admires another rapper, he might take a line or two, but he not gonna take the dude's whole flow or the dude's whole, bar for bar type shit. You know what I'm saying? He might take a line or two and put his own little spin on it. You feel me? Well, yeah. But yeah, man, do your homework on the boulder of Cephas, or the Greek mythological story of Cephas. That is, let me spell that for you. S as in Sierra, I as in India, S as in Sierra, Y as in Yankee, P as in Patrick Mahomes, H as in hotel, U as in uniform, S as in Sierra. The boulder, hold on, matter of fact, matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead and read this explanation. All right. The boulder would always roll back down before he could reach the top. Explanation. Cephas was the king of Euphoria, which is now known as Corinth. He was known for being crafty, arrogant, and murderous. He cheated death twice, which angered the gods. The gods punished him by forcing him to roll the boulder uphill. The myth of Cephas has been used to symbolize the absurdity of human existence. Mm. French philosopher Albert Camus used the myth to discuss how people can find meaning in their lives. Mm. This is always a lesson, even if their existence is meaningless. Tasks that are futile and laborious are often described as Sisyphean. Sisyphean. It's all about perspective, man. Hold on, let me go. Let me go here. Let me go ahead and read this. Okay. In Greek mythology, Cephas was the founder and king of Ephra, now known as Corinth. He reveals Zeus's abduction of Aegina to the river god Asphus, thereby incurring Zeus's wrath. Ah, so this nigga was dirty macking. He snitched. He snitched on Zeus. His subsequent cheating of death earns him eternal punishment in the underworld. Once he dies of old age, the gods forced him to roll an immense boulder up a hill only for it to roll back down every time it neared the top, repeating this action for eternity. Through the classical influence on modern culture, tasks that are both laborious and futile are therefore described as Sisyphean. I might have to get that correct pronunciation. Mythology. You know what? I ain't gonna hold y'all with that. I ain't gonna read all that. I might come back and go through this line by line because I find this interesting. I do. But anyway, yeah, man. Find your own path, man. Find your own path and forge your own path, man. Don't sit up here and try to be the next King Von or the next Pop Smoke or the next, you know, whoever. Dot dot dot. Be you. Be you. See, me, I'm who I was all my life. I may have had a stint back when I was a teenager where I wanted to be DMX for a little bit, you know. But as I got older, man, I had to let that shit go, man. You know, when I was a child, I did as a child, but when I was an adult, I put away childish things.